Talk to Philip Munro, though, partner with Withers Worldwide, because we've been talking about lots of people leaving the country as a result of the Labour government getting in. Wealthy nom-doms are apparently rushing to leave before the April deadline, thanks to Rachel Reeves and her new tax measures. £118 million worth of investment they're each going to take with them. I don't know how many of them there are. Let's ask Philip. Philip, very good morning to you.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm fine. Apparently, we were told that this would happen. A lot of people that I know that simply were rung into this show, who might not be wealthy non-doms, but are people with businesses, a lot of them are leaving as well. It's a bit of a problem.
Yes, it is. The non-dom measures were proposed based on sort of some research which indicated that changing the non-dom tax regime would potentially raise about £2.7 billion of tax, but that research report was you could argue about how effective that research actually was, because obviously it's very difficult to know what the effect of measures is going to be over the long term. And even before the budget, there was further research produced which suggested that the effect of abolishing or changing the non-dom regime wouldn't raise 2.7. It would actually potentially cost the UK £6.5 billion in lost tax revenue over the time period between now and 2035. So this is an interesting change in the sense it's probably one that's maybe more politically motivated rather than motivated by actually raising more tax.
Right. Well, an awful lot of what we've seen Rachel Reeves do seems to be politically motivated, because, like, the farmers' tax doesn't seem to be going to raise more than about half a billion, 500 million, they're saying. They're also then going to give another 500 million away for farmers around the world, in Asia, in South America, and in Africa, to battle climate change. Similarly, the VAT rise on private schools is not really going to raise that much money. The pensioners' fuel allowance being taken away isn't going to really bring them in that much money. So, you know, there's an awful lot of what they're doing that doesn't appear to have a particularly good fiscal reason for doing it.
Yes, you do wonder as well how good the data being relied on by government is. I think we saw that with the farmers' change with the agricultural property relief, where the government's data seemed to suggest that there'd be only 500 farmers affected, and the farming union was suggesting it'd be more like 50,000.
Yes.
Now, you sort of think probably both of those numbers can't be right.
No.
But,
well, certainly now their own tax expert, Dan Needle, has come out and actually said, yeah, they've got it wrong. Actually, it is many more than they've said.
Well, I think that's probably right, because the government was rather assuming that there would be a sort of £3 million sort of IHT threshold for affected farmers, but the reality is that the additional inheritance tax relief on where you leave a home to your children is relatively complex and won't always be available for farmers.
No, sure. And so these non-doms who are going to leave, will they ever come back, do you think, or do they go? Do they leave things behind? Do they have property here that they're going to probably still remain with or something? I don't know.
I suppose there's two elements here. There's the non-doms who are going to leave, and I think what we've also got are the people who would have come to the UK, the talented wealth creators who would previously have come to the UK, who, because of the fear of these tax reforms, because they were first raised actually by Jeremy Corbyn a number of years ago, many individuals who would have relocated to the UK previously have chosen not to come to the UK, because there are jurisdictions, countries out there with tax measures which are designed to encourage wealth creators to move there. So the UK is taking a step here where we're saying essentially that we don't particularly want to make our tax environment attractive for wealth creators to come here. At the same time as we're doing that, some other European countries are going the other way. Yeah. So Italy, for example, has brought in a specific measure to say you can come to Italy and live in Italy for, it was initially €100,000 per year for 10 years, and make your life in Italy, and that's the maximum amount of tax you'll pay. So whereas other countries are going out of the way to encourage people to come in and spend money and create businesses and employ, with this measure, the UK is rather saying to non-UK individuals, you know, we're not going to offer you any kind of incentive. And I think the reality is, if you've been in the UK because of the tax position and you're choosing to leave, you're very unlikely to come back.
Yeah, I think so, especially if you go to Italy, which is far nicer to be probably at all sorts of times of the year. Philip, thank you very much indeed. Philip Munro, partner at Withers Worldwide. So